There she was again, marching straight for my office door with that terrifyingly entitled grimace plastered on her face. And I swear to God, the sound of her shoes on the polished concrete was a military cadence of pure, unadulterated entitlement. "You cannot possibly have an art studio here," she declared, her voice a grating, high-pitched shriek that made the hair on my arms stand up. Seriously? My studio, a beautifully lit space I'd meticulously designed, felt like the one place in the world I could breathe, and this woman Karen obviously was trying to suck all the air out of it with her sheer existence. I let out a slow, tired sigh, the kind that starts deep in your lungs and carries the weight of 1,000 tiny annoyances. I could still smell her perfume, an overpowering cloud of synthetic lavender and regret, as she planted herself in my doorway, blocking the last sliver of afternoon sun. What did she want this time? "I'm sorry. Can I help you?" I asked, my tone probably far too polite for the venom she was spitting. It was always a gamble with people like her. A game of chess played with words you didn't even want to say. She puffed out her chest, a classic power move, and gestured with a perfectly manicured hand at my display of abstract paintings. "The Homeowners Association has been notified," she announced, as if she were a herald of divine judgment. "This is a violation of Section 7, subsection B, of the Community Covenants. This space is zoned for quiet, professional services, not that." The word "that" dripped with disdain, as if my artwork were a biohazard. My jaw tightened, and a tiny muscle in my eyelid began to twitch. The irony was almost too much to bear. I glanced around my sanctuary, the vibrant canvases humming with life, the faint scent of turpentine and coffee in the air, the soft jazz playing from my little Bluetooth speaker. This was a place of creation, of joy. She saw a violation. "I guess it was a Monday, right?" "I'm afraid you're mistaken," I said, trying to keep the tremor of indignation out of my voice. "I have a valid commercial lease. My business is illegitimate." She cut me off with a dismissive flick of her wrist. "Leases can be terminated. Young man, I have been informed by the board president, whom I speak with on a weekly basis, that your lease is, in her words, under review and this mess will be addressed. Don't you know what a quiet neighborhood this is?" Her condescension was a physical thing, a suffocating blanket. I wanted to laugh, or scream, or just shove her out of the way so I could get back to work. My mind raced, replaying every ridiculous interaction with her over the last few months. The passive-aggressive comments in the elevator, the way she would conspicuously take photos of my studio door with her phone, the time she complained that the creative energy I was emitting was disturbing her inner peace. Her little game of petty intimidation had gone on long enough. This wasn't just about my lease anymore. It was about her audacity. She had no idea the truth of my situation. My chest felt tight, not with anger, but with the delicious anticipation of the checkmate I was about to deliver. I had a quick flashback to the meeting with my lawyer last week, where he'd just signed off on the last round of paperwork. The ink wasn't even dry yet, but the deal was done. She took a confident step forward, her voice dropping to a theatrical whisper. "Frankly, your presence here is a detriment to the entire property value. I suggest you start packing your things." That was the final straw. She had dared to tell me to pack up my own building. I took a deep breath, letting the scent of my paints fill my nose, grounding me. The air grew still, the silence punctuated only by the distant hum of the building's C unit and the frantic pounding of my own heart. I finally looked her dead in the eye, dropping my pleasant mask entirely. "Who do you think you're talking to?" The question was a low, slow burn, and for the first time, a flicker of uncertainty crossed her face. "I am a member of the Homeowners Association board, and I'm telling you," she began, but I cut her off. "No, you're not," I said, the words so calm they were almost cold. Her mouth hung open slightly. "I am." Her eyes widened. "And your board position?" It's been terminated. Her face went pale, a sickly white that made her perfectly applied makeup look like a clown's. I didn't stop there. I took a step closer, my shadow now fully covering her. Do you know why I got your little note from the board president about my lease being under review? Because I wrote it, Karen. My company owns this entire office park. And guess what? We also own the property management company that oversees your little homeowners association. The look on her face was a masterpiece of pure, unadulterated shock. She stumbled back, hitting the door frame, her perfect posture crumbling. She wanted to say something, but no words came out, only a choked gasp. I could see her whole universe collapsing right there in my doorway. All her perceived power, her imagined authority, her self-righteous crusadite was all a house of cards I had just blown away with a single breath. The game was over. I had all the pieces, and she had nothing. What a joke. Huh? The homeowners association rules you so generously cited? I continued, the words now like a cool breeze on a summer's day. I'm the one who writes them. You weren't a board member. You were an advisor I was about to fire. And your precious little lease? You're about to get a notice of non-renewal on your condo. Seems your little side hustle of harassing my other tenants and me is actually a violation of the community covenants after all. The irony was a punch to the gut for her, and a sweet shot of justice for me. She finally managed to squeak out a single word. You. But why? I just smiled, a small, knowing smirk. Because some people need to learn that not everyone is a pawn in their little game. Karen. Some of us are the ones who own the board. She turned and ran, her heels no longer a cadence, but a frantic, echoing clatter of defeat. Felt good to breathe again. My studio, with its quiet hum of creation, suddenly felt a little more sacred. And as I turned back to my canvas, a new stroke of paint already forming in my mind, I realized that true power isn't about claiming authority over others. It's about knowing exactly who you are and having the courage to finally tell them to pack their bags.